Hello and welcome back to another episode of Tyler's Tiger Talk. It's a big week this week. It's LSU versus Alabama. Whether you're an Alabama LSU fan, if you're just a college football fan in general, you're very excited for this game, as I am. I haven't been able to make a video in a while. I've been busy with school, so now that I have free time, it is perfect time, and that I actually have this free time to go ahead and make a few videos this week talking about LSU versus Alabama. It's a huge game. This game's going to decide both teams' fate, how far they get in the SEC. And if LSU wins this game, you're talking about an LSU team with the best offense in college football. If LSU wins this game, and Jane Daniels leads this win, you're talking about the best QB in college football and player. And LSU controls their destiny. I know that's a saying you hear a lot, but it's true. They control their own destiny here, and we'll get into the playoffs and all that later. But this video, I want to just have almost a generalization of the game, because I'm gonna make more videos on LSU Alabama and this week. I'll be going to the game Saturday. I'm gonna leave Saturday morning. This will be my first real away game, because I went to the Florida State game last year, the national championship in 2019, and then versus Oklahoma in 2019. But those weren't really proper away games. This is my first game where I'm going to an actual away game. So I'm excited for that. My first away game being one of the biggest, probably, of the season. LSU is going to be losing some players this weekend. Mekhi Wingo will be out for the rest of the regular season. He tweeted today, "I'll see you guys in the playoffs," which you love to see stuff like that, because pumping up the team. Isaiah Alexander, your best corner, the guy you need to help lock up guys like Jermaine Burton, he's gone for this weekend and for the next few weeks. And you need Zai still. No matter if you beat Bama or not, you're still going to need him. You still play Florida. You still play Texas A&M. You need him for those games, and now he's not there for you. So as much as it's a punch losing him for Alabama, it's still just as bad losing him for a few more games. So we'll see how long he's out. And obviously Harris and Chestnut are out, not for injury reasons, but people speculate academics or even disciplinary issues, so they won't be here. So you're telling a lot of freshmen to step up, which is scary, and I'll get into that, and I'll get into defense and offense and Alabama's defense and offense. But that's big. That's big news, and it's big news to wake up in a Monday, watch Brian Kelly's conference and see that, because you were hoping we had those guys. You were hoping you had Mekhi Wingo and Zai. Mekhi Wingo's been your guy on the D-line that has stepped up last year and this year, especially after Mason Smith got hurt. Mason Smith comes off a big injury this year, and he's gotten better throughout the season, but he hasn't been your guy. That's been Mekhi. So it sucks to lose him, but losing Zai, it's just as bad, because you have depth in the D-line, and that's one thing LSU does have, is a lot of depth in the D-line. You have Swinson, you have guys like Jordan Jefferson, who have looked very good. You have a lot of depth in LSU's D-line, but some you don't have that much depth in, or experience, or those veterans, is your secondary. And that's LSU's biggest weakness right now, is their secondary. And it's not a weakness you would like to have going up against Alabama. And when you lose guys like Zai, and when you don't have Harris or Chestnut, it hurts you even more. So hopefully our freshmen can step up. And listen, LSU's defense, this might not help tremendously, but it's going to help a little. LSU's defense has to go up against the best offense in the country for 2 weeks straight. You get that bye week, then you have the week of the game. 2 weeks straight, LSU, those freshmen, those guys who haven't played that much, get to go up against Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and all that in practice. So, that might not help tremendously, but it helps a little, and it helps even more that it happened on a bye week. So, hopefully LSU's defense improves on that, and I'm going to add some more context to that on LSU's defense and versus Alabama. I'm going to get into that more later in the video, but I watched Saban's press conference today. I watched Brian Kelly's, and they said a lot of the same things. Saban did touch on how Jane Daniels, and he even said, "Hey, that guy killed us last year." And that was Jaden Daniels last year, and he did that good against Alabama. So I'm excited to see what Jaden can do this year against Alabama. Obviously, this is his biggest game of the season. I know he in his mind he's not saying, "Hey, I'm playing for Heisman." He just wants to win games and do the best he can. But this is his Heisman game if he can win it. This is the, hey, you know what? Jane Daniels goes into Tuscaloosa, beats Alabama with a hurt defense. LSU's hurt defense, not Alabama's. Alabama has good defense, and still wins the game. I just don't know how that wouldn't scream Heisman to everybody in the country, whether you're an analyst, fan, whether you're voting, whatever. Like, if Jane Daniels goes in and beats Alabama in Tuscaloosa, I think he made his mark at LSU, and he made his statement for Heisman Trophy. And I'm excited because I think he can do it. Jane is such... Obviously, there's still things that you can see last year and this year with Jaden that are similar in his game, but he's improved tremendously this year. And there's a lot of differences in his game now that are improvements and good differences. Obviously, with the defense being hurt, you're looking for a guy to step up on defense, and that is Harold Perkins. Alabama has had trouble blocking. The O-line has had some trouble. Jalen Milroe has had some trouble keeping the ball in his hands and not throwing it. So, it's almost as good as Harold Perkins has been in coverage this year. I'm pretty sure he's graded in the high 80s. And the best coverage linebacker in the SEC. I would love to see him be unleashed against Jalen Milroe because, listen, Jalen Milroe is looking for the big plays. He hasn't been a good short to medium yard passer. He launches that ball, and I love seeing Jalen Milroe play and throw the ball. I love how he throws the ball. I love seeing him throw it. There's something satisfying about when Jalen Milroe throws the ball 50, 60 yards downfield to his receiver. But that's what he's relying on, right? If I pull up Jalen Milroe's stats, I mean, even looking from the Tennessee game, 14 for 21. 14 for 21. So 14 completed passes for 220 yards, 2 TDs. He had an interception in that Tennessee game. So LSU's offense, let's knock on wood here, they've been unstoppable, and I think they continue to be unstoppable. So you're talking about that. You're talking about LSU offense being unstoppable. Did I say defense? If I said defense, I meant to say offense. The offense has been unstoppable. No one's been able to stop them. After that Florida State game, the offense, obviously LSU hasn't gone up against a good defense since Florida State. And this Alabama's defense is better than Florida State, so you can say that. But this offense has improved tremendously. Game plan has improved. Jaden's improved, so it's a different offense from then. So no one's had the formula to stop LSU's offense. I don't think Alabama can stop LSU's offense. So if LSU's defense can get to Milroe, sack Milroe, force a turnover, do whatever they need to do, then LSU can easily win this game. It's not, will this be a close game? It's LSU can easily win this game. Obviously, you have to do it. It's better done than said. You have to get it done, but LSU's offense is unstoppable, and I just don't see how Alabama can stop. I mean, the defense is good, don't get me wrong, but LSU's just been unstoppable. You double Malik Neighbors, we still have Brian Thomas. We still have Kyron Lacey, who's come out of his shell. I mean, he's a great route runner, a great blocker. His biggest problem all year has been dropping the balls, and in the last couple games, Kyron has made some big catches. And so you have 3 really talented receivers. You have the best receiver in college football, a first-round draft pick in this next upcoming draft. And you have an addition with Logan Diggs. You didn't have Logan Diggs last year. You couldn't really rely on the run game last year. You have Logan Diggs now, and Saban talked a little about Logan Diggs in his press conference today and how good he is. But LSU didn't have that last year. Jaden was your guy who rushed for 95 yards in the Alabama game, and I would still like to see Jaden rush, but I just want him to dice up Alabama's defense. I'd like for LSU to receive the ball. Last year, I was like, please don't receive the ball anymore because we never score. Now, I do want LSU to get off to a fast start. And if you're LSU, what is your game plan going in if you're the offense? Do you run the ball? I mean, it's important. If LSU's defense just continues to be bad, now I don't think they're going to take this giant leap up, but I do think they'll be better coming off this bye week. But if they still have those, bad coverages, bad tackles, if you're LSU's offense, LSU, are you going to run the ball to waste as much clock as possible? Because you saw LSU do that the past few weeks. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Let's run the ball. Waste as much clock as possible so your defense is not on the field as much. And it gives Alabama less time to score. Because they're going to score, especially if LSU's defense resorts back to how they've been playing. They're going to score. Alabama's going to score, but if you leave less time by running the ball and get a good run game going, can you just go ahead and outscore Alabama so they don't have any time? And I think that could be a big point going in. And I think that's huge for LSU to focus on, especially your defense is a weakness. Let's try to waste as much time as possible. And shit, if you get a interception here and there or a fumble here and there, then good. But LSU just needs to be able to get to Jalen Milroe. I think that's going to be important, hugely important for this game is LSU getting Jalen Milroe, putting pressure on Milroe to make passes he doesn't want to make. Because we've seen Jalen. I mean, he's the best, one of the best right now in college football as far as making those deep passes. I'm pretty sure he is right now the best in college football at deep balls. But you don't get those very so often. So if LSU can stop those deep balls and stop Burton from getting downfield or Isaiah Bond from getting downfield, then LSU has his game in the bag, really. I know people have been talking, and Alabama is favored by 3, and people have been talking about how LSU, but it really isn't hard, this recipe for LSU to win this game, as it has been in previous years, as it was in 2019 or 2011, whatever year. I mean, it's simple. This is a weaker Alabama team than it has been, and I know Alabama fans take offense to that, but it's true. This is not the same Alabama, and hey, it's not the same LSU. Usually with both teams, you see big dominant defenses. LSU doesn't have that dominant defense that they usually have, so it's true for both. But it could be a big game for Harold Perkins on defense. He's just so damn good. He was a huge game changer in this game last year, if you remember. And let's hope he can continue to be effective in his pass rushing, and also in his pass when he guards. So I'm interested to see what they do with him. Looking back at Alabama versus Tennessee, like I said, Milroe was 14 for 21, 220 yards passing. Jace McClellan had 115 yards, and he is also going to be the guy you want to stop. McClellan has gotten better and better throughout this year. I've watched him throughout the few big games Alabama has played, A&M, Tennessee, Ole Miss. I've watched him get better and better. He's going to be the guy that D-line is going to need to stop, because if you can stop McClellan and force Jalen Milroe to pass, I mean, another positive for LSU. That's another LSU path to victory, almost, if you want to say that. Jalen Milroe had 3 yards rushing. So, I mean, a guy you're worried about running a lot hasn't been running recently. Jermaine Burton, 62 yards pass receiving. Isaiah Bond, 77. Kendrick Law. So, a very spread out. Burton is the best receiver, but Burton is our Kyron Lacy. Like, as good, I know Kyron Lacy's a really good football player, and he's very good, but he's our wide receiver 3. Jermaine Burton is wide receiver 1, and he's like our Kyron Lacy. So that just goes to show you how talented LSU's receivers are versus Alabama's. And I think LSU really does have such a good chance of getting big stops on defense and getting to Milroe. I can't tell you how excited I am for this game. You can only talk about it so much until you just you're just ready to watch it. Let's see. I'm gonna make multiple videos on this, by the way. So if this video does seem short, I'm gonna be making short videos, but a few of them. I touched on that. I talked about a little bit how Milroe has been throwing on for the ball for too long. That's been one of his big problems. Yes, he can make big passes, but this is LSU. LSU's defense does lack in the secondary, but what we lack in the secondary, we do make up for on the defensive line, and we have been getting better at the defensive line and the linebacker position. So, Jalen Milroe can hold that ball for a few seconds, but then he might not see Harold Perkins coming out from out of nowhere and crushing him and getting a fumble. So plays like that would be big for LSU, and plays like that need to happen. Because Milroe is going to go for the long balls. That is his game, is throwing the ball deep downfield, and he's good at it. But that is his game, and if you can stop that small thing from happening, you can contain Milroe. And I think that's what LSU is going to need to do. So I'm going to start to end the video here. If you have any questions about this game, hey, leave them in the comments down below. I love answering questions. Leave a like, subscribe. If you're an Alabama fan, hey, let me know. This was one of my biggest videos actually last year, or it's the couple of videos I did about Alabama, and I got a few comments from Alabama fans, and I love seeing stuff like that. But yeah. So main points: LSU's missing a lot of players on defense, but despite that, LSU has a lot of depth in the D line. They need to bring the heat on Milroe. And that's that for this video. As far as defense, LSU's offense, try to keep the ball, try to waste as much clock as possible, try to keep the ball for as long as you can possible. You have the receivers, you have the running back that you didn't have last year. You have the receivers that have been making big plays. You have the O-line that has been outstanding, that has given Jaden Daniels so much time to make plays. And then you have Jaden Daniels. You have a guy who is a Heisman, one of the, I'm not going to say Heisman favorite because obviously I think Penix is the favorite right now. I want to say either Penix or JJ McCarthy. But he's up there. I mean, he's in the Heisman talks. And if he wins this game, he's probably winning the Heisman Trophy. And from then on out, LSU controls their destiny, and that's gonna something I'm gonna talk about later in the video. But this offense has the tools to score so many points, even against a good Alabama defense. Yeah, and that's it for this video. I'm gonna talk on some more stuff. I might even do a video tomorrow, either that or Wednesday. I'm gonna try to make as much videos as I can this week because I do have a little extra time, more time than I have had recently. But yeah, if you liked the video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, leave me a comment down below. Are you excited for this game? If you are, tell me what you're excited about. Tell me what you think Alabama lacks, what LSU lacks. What either team can do to win this game. I'm excited. I know you guys are, whether you're a fan of either or whether you're not a fan of both. Whether you're just college football fan in general. I know people are excited for this game. And I am too. All right. I'll be back soon. As always, go Tigers.